always hear me talk about, as a worshiper, what it feels like. And I can understand. Before I never understood it, but when I wasn't all the way in for God, I didn't know how to worship God. So when I wasn't all the way into God, I was a spectator. And I would watch people praise. And then I would judge them. What's wrong with them? I would say the things that sometimes we say, it don't take all of that. And what's going on with them? And they just want some attention. But as I got into the things of God, and I realized that certain things in life don't change. Trouble happens whether you are saved or not saved. Difficulties and challenges come whether you're saved or not saved. The difference is when you are saved, you inherit a peace that captures you and keeps you in the midst of the turmoil and in the midst of the storm. Amen. And I've learned over time, you don't have to shout to get a worshiper to worship. You don't have to, and I've learned, I've been around long enough to know the hoops and the holler pastors, and I've learned people who love a hoop and a hollerer love them some good entertainment. And what I've learned is life isn't entertainment, because in life sometimes you can't cut the show off. In faith world, if you don't like what's in front of you, you can change what's in front of you and turn to something that's pleasurable unto you. You know what I'm talking about? But in real life, there are seasons that you can't cut off. So if you don't learn how to adapt in that time, you will think there's nothing for you in that season. But a worshiper knows that they can worship in spite of.
Yes. Hallelujah.
You understand that the season does not dictate your praise, because there are cold seasons in the real world. And there are seasons that is cold and dark at the same time. And we have learned, the worshiper, that we don't hibernate in that cold and dark time.
That's right.
We don't have to store up stuff and go and hibernate and come back when it's warm and sunny. That's for the unbeliever.
Right. There you go.
Am I talking to any worship?
Hallelujah.
When I was young and I didn't know better, I would be angry with people who didn't worship. I was a young pastor, and I was just a stubborn person who didn't know a lot. I just knew how good God was, but I didn't know about how to operate within God's children.
Right.
And I would judge them based on their praise and say, what's wrong with them? I found out wasn't nothing wrong with them. Some people praise in different ways.
Amen.
But understand, but I've learned something. If you can't open up your mouth, there are things preventing you.
Yeah.
And if you can't lift up your hands, there are things preventing you. Now, I've also learned we talked about it last week, you may not want those things to stop. And I've learned to be able to praise with my eyes closed.
Yes.
So, whatever you're doing, don't interrupt. What's going on? See, in the real world, sometimes, I hope somebody get this, sometimes you got to close your eyes to what's in front of you.
Amen. That's right.
Because if you open them, what's in front of you might actually change your mindset on how good God is.
Yes.
So sometimes you got to close your eyes and remember, taste, and see that the Lord is good. But sometimes in order for me to taste and see, I got to close my mouth and my eyes.
Yes. Come on now. Hallelujah.
That was me throwing it. Y'all know the rules. Might too expensive, can't throw it. But taste and see. To taste, you got to open up your mouth. To see, you got to keep your eyes open. But sometimes in order to taste what God has, you got to shut your mouth. Have you ever tasted how good it was by having to shut your mouth? Because your flesh got a whole bunch of stuff it want to say, and you got to shut up until you had a season of a bloody tongue, because you couldn't hardly say nothing.
Amen.
Because I am learning how not to cuss. And the only way for a cuss word not to come out is for me to go through training and to shut up. The only way for me not to punch you in the face is for me not to see you in my face. So I got to close my eyes for me to taste and see. Lord, you are so good. You are keeping me in the midst of what's going on. I know it's torturous. You know it's torturous. He knows it's torturous. But I know that you are a deliverer.
Yes, you are a deliverer. Hallelujah.
But you know something I've learned? And a deliverer, for him to be a deliverer, we think for him to deliver us means to remove us from a situation. And that's not the case.
Not the case. Amen.
Oh, I wish I had a church to talk to today. I wish I had a church to talk to today. Because the deliverer, it didn't say he's an escaper.
Come on now.
We want to escape from the place that we're in, and that's not biblical.
That's not. Come on.
He will deliver you from the pestilence. What are you talking about? He will deliver you from the evil. He will deliver you from it. He won't remove you from it. He will deliver you up out of it. So the problem that we think we're supposed to escape from it. No. How can you be the victor if you don't beat it?
Amen. Hallelujah. That's right. That's good.
I can't, if I leave, it's called in sports forfeit. The only way for me to win is to stay in the game until it's over so I can be declared the victor. Oh, I wish I had somebody to talk to. I have to go through this. In order to get the title, I have to knock you out. Not just in my head. Somebody got to see you being knocked out.
Hallelujah.
I got to face you. I have to beat you. I have to conquer you. Oh, I want to talk to some people today. I'm getting excited. Oh, you know, wifey jacket is coming on. I'm getting excited because something on the inside is brewing. Not in me necessarily, but in the spirit realm. So I'm only talking to you if you came here needing the spirit realm to speak to you today. If you came just to punch in your attendance, good. You checked in. Go on to lunch. Go on to buffet. But I want to talk to some people who need to grow internally.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Look at somebody and say, I will not back down.
I will not back down.
Look at somebody and say, I will not back down. 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 Now tell yourself. Tell your flesh. Tell your mind. Tell your body. There will be times in your life that you will be faced with opposition.
Yes.
I need to prepare you for what that means. I need to prepare you for what that means. I am so tired of Christians getting their butt kicked by the enemy. The enemy is making us think he's stronger than our faith. Oh, that is a lot from the pit.
Amen.
The only reason he's beating you is that your faith is weak.
Amen.
You trying to grow your brand and your popularity and your likes on Facebook and Instagram. If you grew your faith,
Come on now.
you have a lot more followers in heaven than you do on earth.
Come on now.
We are in a time that everything is simple. Everything is simple. If I want to look good, it's called a filter. If I want to be skinny, I can be skinny. There's a filter for that. If I want curves, there's a filter for that. If I want extra eyelashes, there's filter for that. If I want extra hair, there's filter for that. I want to talk to people who's living in the real world. Because in real life, there are no filters. You can't change what's going on by a button.
That's right.
And this is why some of us, we can't be what God created us to be in the head and not the tail. We can't be the victor because in real life there is no button. In our fantasy world, we push a button. There's an app for everything. In the real world, there is no app.
That's right. That's right.
So many times I want to sit my 20-somethings down and say, I'm sorry, baby, but you're just not living in the real world. Socialism is destroying mankind.
Yes, it is.
Because if I want it, and can I say this? I'm about to sound like an old man on this lawn for a minute. But everything from video games, if I don't like you, I can kill you on a video game.
Yeah.
If I want to relieve my stress, I can shoot you in a video game. And this is why in real world, we don't know how to have communication with people anymore. We don't know how to have eye contact anymore. Everything is a text.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real.
We have lost the ability to fight because we don't have to in the fake world. You know, even in the phone, if I don't like you, I can just block you. Everything is so simplified. I talk to so many young people and they tell me this all the time. I don't even know how I feel. Of course not. You haven't exercised your emotions enough to discover what they are. You haven't communicated enough with the person and looked at them in the eye. Until you can tell me what color are their eyes, you don't even know what they look like.
That's real.
I need to talk to us today because I want to talk about how we're not supposed to back down. We weren't created to back down.
No.
God created us and said we're supposed to have dominion.
Amen.
But we have lost the concept that He created us to rule everything. But we have fallen into our own flesh. We fall into our mishaps. I tell so many people all the time, you are not what you've done.
Amen.
Preach. Come on.
Amen.
Yes.
What you've done should not identify you. Who created you should identify you.
Amen.
But we choose to believe what we see over what's been spoken over us.
That's the truth.
I can't do it. Of course you can, because you don't believe you can. I can do it. Of course you can. Why? Because you believe you can.
Amen.
I believe that I am. Why? Because I am made me.
Amen.
Half you won't get that. I believe that I am because I am said that I am. If you understand the power of who the Creator is, you understand when He told Moses, He gave Moses a task that seemed unbelievable.
Right.
And Moses said, well, wait a minute. Before I go to Pharaoh, who should I even say sent me? And God told him, you tell him I am sent you. Until you understand what I am mean, you don't even know who you follow. Until you know who you follow, you don't even understand the power. You can't even sick your big brother on somebody until you see your big brother knock somebody out. When you see your big brother knock somebody out, he ain't even tried. Now I can call him because I know what he can do. Until you know what big brother can do, you're not calling him on somebody. When you know that I am created you specifically for a duty, how you gonna say what you can't do? Just because you haven't done it. How you going to say, I'm not able because you haven't done it? I'm not able because I don't believe that I'm able, but I am said that I'm able. I've never been able to stop doing that. Guess what? Today is a new day. Today is a new day. I've been stuck in that sin forever. Guess what? Today is a new day. This is the day that the Lord has made. And either I can rejoice or I'm going to remember yesterday. But guess what? I can't go back into yesterday. I can go with all my memories and try to recapture yesterday. But I can't go back in yesterday. But I'm in today. I can control what I'm in. I can't control what I can't get back into. Anybody here mess some stuff up in your life? Yes. Anybody here you mess some stuff up that you're not proud of? Yeah. guess what? Make sure somebody else don't go through what you went through. The problem we have is we're not talking about what we did. How many people here, you still too ashamed to talk about it?
A little bit.
You know what that means? You're still prideful. You're still trying to protect your rep. You're trying to protect your rep. Do you realize God allowed it to happen for somebody else? That story is part of your rep. Because you realize what you got out of, somebody is stuck in it right now and don't think they can get out. And they don't think they can get out because they don't see you got out of it because you won't tell them you were in it.
Hallelujah. That's right. Come on.
Feed the Spirit.
That addiction will have you until you have it.
Yeah. Preach. Amen.
Problem is we don't want to talk about addiction, especially in church. I grew up as far as my pastoral training, and I was taught, don't talk about those subjects. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about this. Just stay in line with these things. And I learned that's why we know how to shout, but we don't know how to live. We know how to have church, but we don't know how to live. That's why when we go out, we go back on crack.
Yes.
We go back still having the pornography on our phone.
Amen.
We go back still with the wine bottle in the glove compartment. Because we come here, we know how to shout, but we don't learn how to live.
Amen. That's right.
We don't learn the power of greater is He that is in you than he that's in the world. If He gets in you, you got to tell Him you got permission to kick out everything that lived in here before you got here. Oh, I might as well get all the way. We need to treat God like women treat their new man. Oh, I'm about to go there. We need to, my sleeves are rolled up. It's on. We need to treat God like women treat their new man. When the woman is with their kids, they loving the kids. But as soon as the new man move in, he take over. Stop quiet, ain't God? Because y'all know it's true. When the new man move in, and you done met him for 2 months, and your kid's been there for 12 years, but now he's been, for 2 months, and now he moved in, he the man of the house. Where he say go. But we don't do God like that. When God come in, you like, hold on, God. First of all, you want to have to know this one, and this one. God, we don't do it like that. God, I'm gonna need, this is your room that we created for you. While your man's still walking around naked. He can be free, but God can't. In your temple. We can be at church, but when your man call you, he don't go to church. When he call you and say, where you at? I'm still in church. Well, didn't you say church was over at 1? You should be, oh, okay. There can only be one God. There can only be one Alpha. There can only be one Alpha. You know the problem with that situation is, if you really had a real man, he would bow down to the Alpha. And he would know there's only one Alpha, and he's not trying to be it. I won't back down. I won't back down. I won't back down. I won't back down no matter how difficult it is. I won't back down. No matter how difficult this challenge is, I won't back down. No matter how much I don't like my situation, I won't back down. I made a decision that I'm going to do right for the first time in my life, and I'm going to stick to it this time. I made a decision that I'm going to move over and let God take control. I made a decision I will not back down. No matter how much hell the devil brings in my way, I won't back down. No matter how many people in my family is stripping, I won't back down. No matter how many people I got to ignore, I won't back down. No matter if I got fired, I got laid off, I got kicked out of my house, my car won't start, I got $5 and I just got paid, I will not back down. No matter who agree with me, I won't back down. No still struggling in it right now, I won't back down. No matter if I'm still struggling in it right now, I will not back down. You will not control me. I will have control over you because my God said I have the dominion. I have it. I'm taking charge of everything that's owned me. I'm taking charge over everybody who had authority over me. I'm taking charge. I won't back down.